FBI Director Kash Patel says a U.S. judge has been arrested for obstructing an immigration operation. Let's go live right now to our senior crime and justice correspondent, Caitlin Polan. It's pretty dramatic. What are you learning, Caitlin?
The judge, Hannah Dugan, a local judge, Milwaukee County Court, she was arrested on courthouse grounds where she works at about 8:30 this morning, taken into custody.
Judge, anything to say about this?
I mean, when you look at the associations with this violent Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, and this person that they harbored in their home, he was showing signs through clothing, we were told, tattoos. There was evidence through voice messages and text messages of his association to TDA. So what charges will Cano and his wife face, if any?
And speaking of charges, Don Lemon should be charged with being an absolute freaking moron. Listen to what he had to say here with his little white fluffy dog on his lap.
Is this what we've come to? A judge being arrested by the FBI. A judge in Wisconsin was arrested by the FBI. They're accusing her of at least misleading ICE agents or throwing them off the trail of someone that they deem to be an illegal alien, as they call them, or an undocumented person. It's really scary. Kash Patel was behind it. He put up a tweet. He has since deleted it. I want to know what's going on. Is this where we're living in a time where you can detain judges because they're not doing what you want them to do? What happened to the independence of the judiciary? We're supposed to have 3 branches of government.
And which branch of the 3 branches of government should be the one that's corrupt and breaking the law? Which one would that be, Don? Anyway, Elon Musk posted this one saying, exactly. Reminder, the reason Democrat judges are fighting so hard to keep illegals, even the criminal aliens, is all about control of the House. If illegals were removed or not counted for apportionment, Democrats would lose 10 seats in the House, giving the GOP a 27-seat advantage. And speaking of Kash Patel, guess what's coming next? FBI Director Kash Patel says, I'm calling for the subpoenas to be issued to Judge Merchant, his daughter's company, who happened to make $15 million plus over $15 million from the illicit information pouring out of her father's courtroom.
I mean, this is so unprecedented. It's just amazing that he would say that.
It's shockingly unconstitutional, Trace. It's great to be with you, and I'm here to announce on your show a measure that I'm working with Congress that should be Congress's bread and butter. And I'm calling for the subpoenas to be issued to Judge Merchant's daughter's company, who made $15+ million from the illicit information pouring out of her father's courtroom. I want to know the bank records, because money doesn't lie. Yep. I want to know how deep it is and how much of it went to the family and how much of it is going to the family after this false conviction. And then we need to investigate the FEC actual violations that this judge and his family conducted, because he should never have been overseeing this trial to begin with, because of the illicit campaign money that was flowing through there, and the unconstitutional due process violations are only the beginning. So America is calling for accountability of our judicial system, and Congress is the only lever that has it, and I'm hoping for 1 or 2 brave members of Congress that I'm talking to issue those subpoenas ASAP.
And navigating Medicare can feel overwhelming, especially with all the different parts, plans, and choices that are out there. I really appreciate you sharing your thoughts and being open about it, but trust me, you're not alone. And I'm here to help clarify things and point you towards some amazing support from our trusted partner, Chapter. Medicare is generally for folks who are 65 or older, but it can also apply to younger people with certain disabilities, end-stage renal disease, ESRD, or ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. If you're approaching 65, already there, or even a bit younger, but dealing with one of these conditions, it's a great time to start thinking about Medicare. Even if you're not in that age group yet, I bet you know someone who is. Maybe a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, neighbor, friend, or coworker who could use some guidance. Medicare decisions are a big deal, and getting them right can make a huge difference in saving money and keeping more of that hard-earned Social Security in their pocket. And that's exactly why our partner Chapter shines. And I'm extremely excited to tell you about that and why they're so special. Chapter was founded by some truly wonderful people with a heartfelt mission They saw too many seniors being taken advantage of or by confusing systems or pushy sales tactics, and they wanted to change that. Their core goal is to protect seniors and make sure that they're on the right Medicare plan for their unique needs without any pressure or hidden agendas. They offer free Medicare consultations to help you or someone that you care about figure out if you're on or they're on the plan, avoid costly mistakes, and maximize savings. Your savings, their savings. Their advisors take the time to listen, explain things clearly, and guide you with compassion so you never feel lost or rushed. Whether it's understanding what Medicare covers, picking the right plan, or finding ways to lower costs, Chapter's team is there to hold your hand through it all. And the best part about it is it's at no cost to you. It's 100% free. Think of them like that trusted friend who just wants the best for you. So if you're nearing 65, already on Medicare, or know someone who is, I'd love for you to encourage them to give Chapter a call for their free consultation. It's such an easy step to get peace of mind and potentially put more money back into their Social Security checks. And feel free to drop any specific questions that you have below, or if you like, I can share more about how Chapter has helped others in our community. But trust me, you've got this, and better yet, Chapter's got your back. Oh yeah, and P.S. if you or someone you know wants to connect with Chapter, the number's on the screen. Just mention my channel as well, and yeah, they'll take extra good care of you. Call Chapter. It's free. Get your free Medicare consultation, free Medicare help, 270-467-2426. That is 270-467-2426. Call Chapter, our partner now, and let me know how that conversation goes. Come back, leave a comment, drop a comment, let everybody know. Share your experience and help others experience the same helpful, beneficial advice and expertise from our partner Chapter for free Medicare help. 270-467-2426.
There are laws on the books that make it a criminal offense to shield or harbor illegal immigrants, like the sanctuary state city leaders have been doing. Do you think they should be prosecuted, the full extent of the law, and possibly put in prison?
Absolutely. And hold tight on that one. Because it's coming. It's coming. I've been clear on that since day one.
The law is a real challenge in making sure that justice happens for people. It's transformative in people's lives, but it also, especially in the United States, it's considered a stabilizing force. It's something that keeps us on a constant path. The rule of law is how we address our social issues, how we address our disputes, but also how we grow as people. The rule of law is premised on equal justice, but also we have evolved into due process. And it's really the due process. I, as a person who for a couple decades almost represented low-income people, it is due process that really equalizes those differences between people.
And a person who half my family was murdered by the actual Hitler. In addition to it being deeply offensive to Jews, to call Trump Hitler is to call over 80 million Americans, 35% of Jewish Americans, 56% of Hispanic men, and the majority of Americans who make under $100,000 a year, Nazis, because those are the people who gave Donald Trump his victory. And I just have a pro tip for any Democrats who are thinking about winning back the working class, those people who make under $100,000 a year, who a majority of whom voted for Trump. You should have a visceral disgust for someone like Larry David, who's worth $400 million, sitting there and sneering and smearing the hardest working Americans for refusing to co-sign their own disinheritance. That's effectively what they are doing when these millionaires come out here and call Trump Hitler. They are calling working class Americans Nazis because they chose the person they thought would give their children back the future they were promised by this country. And it just has to stop.
If we follow the rule of law, which includes processing our cases in an orderly manner, in a predictable manner, in a manner that holds people to standards.
And to set the stage for you and Sandra, this was truly horrific. This guy was in court being prosecuted by a state prosecutor for domestic violence battery. He had beat up two people, a guy and a girl, beat the guy, hit the guy 30 times, knocked him to the ground, choked him, beat up a woman so badly they both had to go to the hospital. And John, you know, it's so rare for victims to want to cooperate. They wanted to cooperate. They were sitting in the courtroom with the state prosecutor. The judge learns that ICE was outside to get the guy because he had been deported in 2013, came back in our country, commits these crimes, charged with committing these crimes, victims in court. Judge finds out. She goes out in the hallway, screams at the immigration officers. She's furious, visibly shaken, upset, sends them off to talk to the chief judge. She comes back in the courtroom. You're not going to believe this. Takes the defendant and the defense attorney back in her chambers, takes them out a private exit and tells them to leave. While a state prosecutor and victims of domestic violence are sitting in the courtroom.
Then we're able to achieve that equal justice that we are promised and hope to have continue despite our differences, despite our class differences, despite our racial and religious differences.
Holy shit. Old wide jaw Hannah Dugan. Whew. Judge Dugan helped a fugitive illegal alien escape out of the back of her courtroom to obstruct an ICE warrant, two felony charges. Rapid Response 47, you guys just heard. Attorney General Pam Bondi, about to say Pam Bondi, describes the shocking interference by a Wisconsin judge in an ICE arrest of an illegal immigrant. Pam Bondi with some insane details of the liberal New Mexico judge who was harboring an illegal TDA member. We're going to talk more about that. And she says he smashed the gang member's cell phone, which had pictures of two decapitated victims on it, and he and his wife gave him assault rifles. Whatever happened to the Democrats being against AR rifles, assault rifle, rapid fire? They're not M16s, folks. Do your research. Find out what AR really stands for. And this after Don Lemon is having a meltdown because Wisconsin Judge Dugan was just correctly arrested and charged with obstructing ICE. Democrats aren't used to being held accountable for blatantly breaking the law. I'm glad Dugan was arrested. This is according to the poster here. Bubble bath girl Paul Sapula. I think that's how you say it. Sizipula. I hope she goes to jail for a very long time. And speaking of meltdown, check out this astronaut who just returned back to the Earth's surface. What in the world is she doing? Absolute clown world. WTF is this? They're passing this off as normal. I don't even really know how to describe it. You guys, describe this, what you see here, in one word. Leave a comment. And what seems to be, the only way I can describe it is Sarah McBride's sister brother, who apparently is on CNN here, or perhaps maybe part-time linebacker for the Green Bay Packers, says a Wisconsin judge was arrested for allegedly helping an illegal immigrant evade arrest by funneling him through a jury door to avoid the ICE agents waiting for him. CNN was shocked to report that this Wisconsin judge who obstructed immigration enforcement had been arrested. But more importantly, what we must pay attention to here and mustn't forget is no one is above the law. But that's what we heard for years, right? Was it all talk? Update. Judge Hannah Dugan just left the federal courthouse after being arrested by FBI agents, and she's been hit with 2 federal felonies related to obstruction. She's going away for a long, long time for aiding illegals. Who's next? I can't necessarily say that next will be because they're aiding illegals, but I think that there are several judges out there that should be going to jail very soon. I'm sure you guys can take a guess at who I'm hinting at here. Colin Rugg says, just in, Milwaukee Judge Hannah Dugan arrested by the FBI. Yeah, Justice Tom Homan knew 2 judges have been arrested by ICE aiding and abetting illegals in the past 24 hours. I guess it confirms that when Tom Homan said, hang tight, something's coming, he meant it. Tom's a boss, and he clearly isn't messing around. And speaking of going to jail, former U.S. Republican George Santos has been sentenced to 7 years or 87 months in prison for wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. And he's also been ordered to pay nearly $374,000 in restitution. And so here's a little spoiler for who I think should be next. Big Tish, Letitia James. When will she be arrested? How long will she go to jail for? And how much money will she be ordered to repay for restitution? Speaking of other retards that should be going to jail soon, J6 Capitol fire alarm puller himself, fire alarmist Jamal Bowman, fumes, pointing out just how stupid he is because quarterback Shandir Sanders wasn't picked in the first round of the NFL draft. Says it's because he wears gold chains and talks like a rapper.
I'm going to try not to get too carried away because I expect the Cleveland Browns to select Shedeur Sanders with the first pick in today's second round of the NFL draft. But like the way, you know, the analysis of Shedeur Sanders and the way he's being discussed by pundits is just crazy to me, man. Like, you know, I keep hearing, you know, oh, he doesn't have the strongest arm, or he doesn't have the athleticism that jumps off the page. And so, like, last year or 2 years ago, we draft Anthony Richardson, who has all of that, but can't play the position. And Shedeur has everything else supposedly you need: toughness, leadership, intelligent, pre-snap read, post-snap read, anticipation throws, accurate with the football. He has all of that, but we don't draft him. And like throughout my life, I've seen, you know, teams draft people like Josh Rosen and Brady Quinn and like wild people. And we've seen quarterbacks who don't have athleticism that jumps off the page. Like, listen, I know the league has changed, whatever, cool, like I get all that. But like the quarterback position is still a quarterback position. The last quarterback to beat, Jalen Hurts beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl this year. But the last quarterback to beat him before that was Tom Brady, who's not athletic at all and considered the GOAT. Like, the position is the position. Yes, I love Lamar Jackson. He's my favorite player. But, like, you need someone to understand pre-snap, post-snap, rotations, and coverage. Throw with anticipation. Accurate with the football. He had no running game and no offensive line. And he was getting, you know, the crap beat out of him, and he still completed 77% of his passes. His father is one of the greatest American athletes of all time. He has the pedigree. Coached by his father his whole life. Went to the Manning camp. Knows how to play the position. And the Giants, listen, I don't know, man. The Giants trade back up to get, you know, Jackson Dart. Okay, maybe Jackson Dart is good. I don't know. But, like, I watched Shedeur play. We all did. He played, like, every week. It was always on TV. Like, I watched football my whole life. I played football. Like, he knows how to play. Like, we need competent quarterbacks. Not like the potential of, oh, he jumps off the page. Josh Allen has no rings right now. Like, so it's not about, I don't know, man. It's just the way y'all talk about him. Like, it's the, okay, you got the football evaluation, then you got his dad and what Dion brings to the table as an active father, as an active black father in his black son's life. And we all know what that is, whether we want to, admit it or not. But it's not only that. It's the way Shador dresses. It's the way he talks, and it's his culture, in my opinion. You see him at the draft last night. He's wearing all black. He got the ill chain on, and he talks like a rapper. And I keep hearing, oh, he's entitled. He feels entitled. I don't know. It's like entitled. So like these white boys that came before him don't feel entitled. Eli Manning, Archie Manning, when they said he don't want to play for San Diego, don't draft me. That's not entitlement, but that was acceptable. That was okay for him to do that. But Shador is not entitled. Shador is just tired of being, and I don't know Shador, so let me not, whatever. But I've been in those spaces before. I've been in those spaces. A lot of people don't know. I did some work with the NFL at the Combine before, back in the days, way back in the days. But like I've been in spaces like that in education and politics and in sports. He's tired of being poked and prodded at every step of the process, answering the same questions a million times, poked and prodded. What a lot of these GMs, and not just the GMs, the scouts, the people involved in these evaluations and the drafts and all that, a lot of those people, they want you as a player to submit to them in the process. Whether consciously or subconsciously, they want you to submit. They want to feel like you've submitted to them. That's what they want. And Shador, I saw one interview with Louis Riddick, and Field Yates during his pro day, and he was, I could just tell by his body language, he was just like, man, all I need is an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, all I need is an opportunity. And like, what do you think is the best, are the top number one traits for a quarterback? Don't I have all those? Like, he's just tired of answering the same questions over and over and over again, and submitting to the process, and submitting to like, yes sir, no sir, yes man, no man. I'm not saying you shouldn't be that way, but like, come on, man. So, this is a, and someone said the other day, I don't remember who it was, this is a black man with means, comes from a home with means, and has extreme confidence, and is not submitting to y'all in your NFL culture in the way y'all want to. I'm gonna go out there and play football. I know how to play the game. I'm ready to play. I'm a great teammate. I've shown that. I'm tough. No O-line, no running game. I elevated, the HBCU I went to. I elevated, Jackson State? Elevated Jackson State, elevated Colorado to a whole nother level. Like, y'all see me play. And for the Giants, everybody see him play. You see Jackson Dart play. You're gonna take Jackson Dart. Let's see, but see, this is like where, you have so Brian Dable and Lane Kiffin, they cool. One of Lane Kiffin's assistants is Charlie Weiss's son. They cool. They go back to working with Belichick in the Belichick tree. So they all talk to each other, and they're all raving probably about how great this dude Jackson Dart is. Listen, I wish him well. You know, my instinct is, you know, I don't know, we'll see, but they got their network, they got their crew, and they made this decision. You know what I mean? That's what happened. And so, you know, and so here we are, man. But we'll see. I think Shador's going to go #1 to Cleveland tonight in the second round. If Cleveland is smart, they'll do that, and I think Cleveland's going to have a hell of a player. I don't agree with what Cleveland did. They got a haul for him, but you traded away a pick to get a blue chip in Travis Hunter, and then you picked the D tackle. I forget from what team. And you don't get Genty. So there was 3 blue chips: Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, and Genty. You had the #2 pick. You don't get none of those 3. But you do get more picks, so we'll see. I don't know. These teams be bugging. Listen, it's always an inexact science. Teams screw this up all the time. I just take it personal, and maybe I shouldn't, but I take it personal when I see someone like Shador Sanders, you know, because he talk a certain way and because he wears gold chains and his pops is Dion and he don't want to submit to y'all white shit, you know, he's gonna slip in the draft. And you're telling me it's based on the evaluation. Like, you didn't watch the games and watch him play and see him play. Like, it's crazy. Peace.
Total clown. Bowman says that Sanders not being picked is proof that America continues to fear strong black men. Oh yeah, speaking of strong black men, I don't know if it's America fears this one, but he should fear what could potentially happen. And yeah, maybe, who knows? He goes to jail too. Breaking, a new Shannon Sharp accuser has come forward. A former female FS1 co-worker is now claiming he choked her in the workplace. Not looking good.
The Milwaukee Courthouse has for decades been known to really attempt innovations. It has been an innovator in what we call the problem-solving courts, the therapeutic courts. 3 decades ago, it was one of the first in the nation to set up a domestic violence court. It now has a veterans court and a drug therapy court, a mental health court. These are termed as problem-solving courts. Apply the traditional law, but also look at solutions that are more complicated because these cases that involve, say, veterans or mental health patients or children are more complicated than what the law can address. The solutions or the sanctions or the punishment or the sentences are fashioned more towards addressing the global issues involved in the case, such as violence or mental health issues or drug treatment issues, rather than punishing outright.
Truly, Wolf, this is something that we have certainly not seen before, but appears to be part of this aggressive approach the Trump administration has toward immigration. What the FBI Director Kash Patel announced in a social media post just a few minutes ago this morning is that just now the FBI arrested Judge Hannah Dugan out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin on charges of obstruction after evidence of Judge Dugan obstructing an immigration arrest operation last week.
So Judge Cano, soon to be former Judge Cano, got his charges were just unsealed. He's charged with obstruction. He admitted post Miranda. He took one of the TDA members' cell phones himself, took it, beat it with a hammer, destroyed it, and then walked the pieces to a city dumpster to dispose of it to protect him.
We believe Judge Dugan intentionally misdirected federal agents away from the subject to be arrested in her courthouse. Eduardo Flores Ruiz is the name that the FBI director puts out there about that subject, allowing the subject to evade arrest. Thankfully, our agents chased down the perp on foot, and he's been in custody since. But the judge's obstruction created increased increased danger to the public. So that's the FBI director laying out this apparent story and the developments this morning, Wolf, of what is happening with this arrest.
Working with nonprofits has taught me that it really requires a focus, a mission focus, that you want to achieve something. You identify a problem, or you identify the need, or you identify something to celebrate, and work around that, having boards come together, having them be organized, and that's what I do as an attorney, and that's what I've done in terms of my work on transition management of nonprofits. I've helped them organize that. What's happened in more recent years is this real effort to have true collaborations with the other sectors, with the private sector and with the government sector. And nonprofits, I think they're very valuable because what they contribute is that they do the work that neither government nor private sectors are prepared to do at a time.
We have reached out to the Milwaukee County Circuit Court, which is where the judge sits, Judge Hannah Dugan. They have not responded yet, and there isn't any publicly available information in the court record about this, but it would be a startling development if this judge was arrested as she was working on the bench as a judge handling an immigration case or a case of a person that ICE was also interested in. Wolf?
Yeah, very dramatic and significant indeed. Caitlin Polance reporting for us. Thank you very much, Pamela.
The wife also is charged with destroying evidence. Sandra, not only that, this TDA member, and he had on a necklace that said kill, something about death. He had tattoos all over him. He also had on his cell phone pictures of two decapitated victims, victims, decapitated, gruesome photos, and he was sending them out, and whoever he was sending them to was sending back saying, hey, you need to be careful, you shouldn't be sending these, you shouldn't be texting these photos out. Not only that, these two, the judge and his wife, gave him assault rifles that belonged to their daughter. That's what they're charged with. In the criminal report affidavit, he goes to a shooting range with these assault rifles, with a suppressor, with other known TDA members, and they're shooting. This is the last person that we want in our country, nor will we ever tolerate a judge or anyone else harboring them.
It's almost like these criminals, typically, they do things, oddly enough, because they want to be caught. Text messages, sending pictures of decapitated victims. Ugh. But what do you guys think of Pam Bondi? I know Pam Bondi was getting mixed reviews here, but what do you think is more important? What do you think is more pressing? The results here, you can see the energy, you can see the fire inside of her as she speaks here on Fox News, or the Epstein list. Obviously, things need to be done, but in what order should they be done? I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys think about that. I also want to know what you guys think about your phone call with Chapter for a free Medicare help, free Medicare consultation. The number's on the screen, 270-467-2426. And this is where I leave you, folks. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe, do all the good things. Check out the links down below in the description, and I'll see you on the next one.
Appearing before the federal court about these charges, helping an immigrant from Mexico try to escape federal immigration authorities. The story of how that happened, it all took place on April 18th. That man, a man named Eduardo Flores Ruiz, he was in her court for a domestic violence charge, according to the court records. And at the hearing, the immigration authorities from the federal government were waiting to apprehend him for these immigration removal proceedings. But Judge Dugan, according to the court record against her, became visibly angry, commented that the situation was absurd, left the bench, entered chambers, and then escorted later Flores Ruiz through a jury door so that he would avoid his arrest by federal immigration authorities. That is according to the Justice Department in federal court. Flores Ruiz has also been apprehended. He appeared in court yesterday for trying for the re-entry proceedings